Great song, Lynn.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome
Good
to our
morning.
Sunday service. It's
Good
gorgeous
morning.
outside. It looked a little overcast. I thought, oh, the sun's hiding, but now I'm back. So welcome to our friends online. We're glad that you're joining us. And I invite you to join me in our opening blessing. Spirit, divine source, we gather in gratitude for the souls who sit beside us and the seen and unseen influences that guide us on our path. We know that this is no accident that we gather here together. And love, knowing that our energies unite in harmony with our hearts being open to receive. As we deepen our understanding of our own individual paths, may we also deepen our connection to each other, knowing that the message that Reverend Lynn shares with us this morning will inspire us as we continue to allow the path before us to unfold. We are grateful for the gift of the shared journey. Amen. Welcome, Reverend Lynn, up to the podium.
Good thing it's not me, I'm not ready.
So great to have so many.
or to experience something I would otherwise not have experienced, whether it's good or not so good. And I keep those memories in my spiritual toolbox, knowing that I will use that knowledge at another time, maybe to help someone else, maybe to see something from a different perspective. Experience is a good teacher, and I have had many wonderful experiences. I'm not really sure if we have one path or many paths, or do the many paths come to the one path? It's still kind of confusing to me as I'm on a lot of different paths. And maybe it's just a little bit of both. Everything kind of blends in together to bring us to who we are. I look at our master teachers like Yeshua and Kuan Yin, and so many more that I have read about. Most all have endured great suffering, great suffering. But it wasn't the suffering that propelled them into their abilities to guide us and to teach us today, or ask us and show us which way we need to take on our path. It was the ways in which they dealt with their suffering, staying in their hearts, showing forgiveness, compassion to others, not giving up on their faith when the going got rough or dangerous in many instances. And they stayed true to their path. And that's what made them so able to teach us, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I am so grateful to know that they are around to continue teaching me anyway, because I know I need help all the time. I'm always asking for help. I look out at everyone here, and I know those of you online, and I see potential master teachers. None of our lives have been perfect. None of them. Not even easy. Maybe they've been interesting, challenging, and I'm also sure very, very rewarding, but not always perfect. As we move along our paths, learning forgiveness, learning to keep our faith strong, and when we just consider that experience was necessary to get us to where we are now, maybe then we can cherish every single moment of our lives. Know that your purpose will find you when you are ready and not before. Every day when you wake up, you might want to say or ask, what does my soul want me to do today? What is my soul telling me? Knowing that the universe works with you to accomplish your life path or soul path, but in reality, the universe works without our help. But I think it's easier when we work with the universe and with our teachers and guides and our team. I think it makes our life easier. I know I forget to work with them, and it's not as easy sometimes when I forget to ask for help. I have a little story to tell you, if you'll bear with me. I have 4 children. When my children were young, they all played baseball. Sometimes there were 4 games a day or 4 practices a day, and I have what I now call bleacher butt because all I did was sit in a bleacher month after month, year after year, and I loved every minute of it. I did. I really loved it. One year, there was a young boy on my children's team, and I would watch him. No parent was ever around, and nobody came to his games. Nobody brought him. He rode his bike. He rode his bike in the rain. He rode his bike in the dark, and I couldn't deal with it. Somebody told me it wasn't any of my business, but oh well. I went up to him and said, what is your name? And he said his name was Mike. And I said, it's raining, it's a little dark. Would you like a ride home? And he said, well, yeah. So we threw his bike in, and he climbed in with all my kids, and off we went. And I took him home. And I did this a couple times, and still no parent, no wave, no, hey, thanks, nothing like that. And so what I did was I said I had to find a way. I said, if your parents agree to this, how about if you can get on the school bus with my children, take the bus home, and you do your homework, I'll feed you, then I'll take you to practice or game, and then I'll take you home. And oh boy, the next day he was right home and right there, and still no parent talked to me. And it was like, what's going on here? So anyway, we lived in a small town. Most people knew me through my children, so I assume it's okay. Anyway, 1 or 2, maybe even 3 people were telling me I shouldn't do that. We don't know him. He's not in our family. He's not in our circle, our group. And why are you doing this? And it's like, my soul told me I needed to. My heart said, I don't know why, but I need to do this. And I did. And months later, after all the games were done, the practices were done, we had our pizza party. I'm sure you guys remember that. I took him home for the last time, and I never saw him again for months, years actually. And one day or evening, my children and I were at a restaurant with some family and friends and their kids, and we were having pizza. I think I was in a pouty mood. I remember, I don't know why I was kind of pouty. I'll say pouty, it's a nicer word. And I had decided I'm just not going to be nice to anybody anymore. I just don't care. I'm not going to be nice. Nobody cares. They don't say thank you. They just don't care. So I was really pouty. And I was out kind of like that. And all of a sudden I heard this voice, Lynn, Lynn. I'm looking around. I didn't know anybody. And I just went back to pouting. And the voice, it was the man's voice. And he said, Lynn. And I'm looking around, and he's walking towards me, this big man with a beard. A big man with a beard. And he said, don't you remember me? And I said, it's Mike. He goes, it's Mike. It's Mike. And he put his arms around me. He picked me up, and he just gave me the biggest hug. He said, I waited years, and it was years, because he didn't have a beard when I was driving him around. I've waited years to say thank you to you. And my parents were going through a terrible divorce, and you gave me warmth and stability and comfort in your home. And I have never forgotten it, because I think you saved my life. I was going down a wrong path or whatever. And he just hugged me for a few minutes, and then he left. And I looked up and I went, fine, I will be nice again. and you know, it was such a blessing for me to know, to be given that opportunity to hear that something so little, and it was little. I had 4 kids. What's one more? You know, it just didn't matter. But it was so little. But to him, it was his life. Just a little ride down the road and a little ride over here. It was minuscule. So to be able to learn that those small things change a person's life is huge. And the other thing I learned that day was watch what you say, because Spirit hears it all. Every bit of it they hear. So I am so glad that I did not let the naysayers take me off my path, even though it was a short and temporary path with that young man. There are those who want to take us off our paths. Maybe they're testing us to see if they can get us to move into another area of life. I don't know. Maybe they want to see if we're true to follow our own path. Testing our strength and our patience sometimes. We should always try to stay on our paths if we can, despite anyone trying to pull us off. Our family, our spouses, our friends, children, they will all try to take us away from our path. They're not on our path. They're not even on the ramp that leads to our path. But still, they want to dissuade us from our path. And they're not doing it because they're mean or bad. They're just doing it because maybe they want company on their path. You know, I don't know why, but people do. They try to lead you down here, they lead you over there, and you're trying to do this. But those are detours. Those are detours. And if you get off your path, if you go on a little detour, look at it as as driving a car, and you're going down that beautiful road that you didn't mean to go down, and you're finding a nice area to drive in that you wouldn't normally. But do just get up. It's not a mistake. It's a detour. And remember, if you don't take a few detours, you would miss all the blessings that these detours do share with us. And there's always a good blessing in it. There's always a reason. And we come back up and we just get going on our path again. Everybody has a path and a plan, a life to experience. Our children, our friends, all people. And it really doesn't matter if we disagree with their path. The path is still there, and it belongs to them, and it belongs to them alone. It's not our job to keep others on their path. It's hard enough to stay on our path by ourselves, let alone helping others. Their path is what they chose to experience here on earth, and we cannot walk that for him or them. I said him. And I have tried. And it does not work when you try to walk another person's path for them. But, and this is a big but, we can stand beside them with love and support and nurturing while they walk their path. No matter what we think about it, as long as we're there to show love, that's a good support for them. I would like to read something from Wayne Dyer. There is a mystery that many call God, God manifesting as universal love, a set of laws, and a great process. That process works through each and every one of us, and that process is perfect. As we discover this fundamental truth in the journey of our lives, we find that wherever we step, the path appears beneath our feet. And he goes on to say, live, be yourself, love, and enjoy, because these are big keys to staying on your path in life. Is there a higher being or some higher being that encourages us to choose one path over another? Or is it our higher self or an angel? I don't really know, but it's there. The guidance is there. Finding our Dharma or our true path depends a little bit on having a feeling of your destiny. And that's a big word to me, destiny. What am I supposed to do? My destiny, that's big. But we all think about it. What am I supposed to do? What am I going to do when I grow up? What am I going to do when I get old? Many things. And that is part of our destiny. And looking at that, maybe inside your heart or during meditation and prayer, will help us stay on that right path. But I say, if it makes your heart sing, and if it makes your soul happy and smile, then you're probably on the right path in life. So what makes your heart sing? I know that through my path at many detours, I was led here to Home Spiritual Center. And being here makes my heart sing. My heart has grown being here. And I want to thank every one of you, and also you out there, for being a part of my path, because I wouldn't be here if you weren't here. And that's so awesome. That's just a wonder inside of me. I don't even know how to put a word to it. Somebody told me sometimes words cheapen the experience. So it's so big, I don't know what to say. Let's put it that way. And so thank you all for being with me. I have a short meditation, if you're up to it. Kind of a nice one. I have this wonderful little book, Pocket Meditations. It's been coming around for so many years, but it's always had something good that I need to hear. And this is a little paragraph from the Dalai Lama. I just think he's a cool guy. And he says, I am open to the guidance of synchronicity. Synchronous events may be taken as auspicious signs that you are making progress in your meditation and in your choices. They are indicators that you are evolving along the path toward awakening to the spark within that connects you to the one in all. The Buddhist practice of vipassana, which is an insight meditation, invites you to be aware of and realize the interconnectedness of all things. So if you would like to close your eyes just for a minute and focus your attention at the third eye, just in the center of your forehead and slightly above. Let's count your breath 1 or 2 times, just in and out. Just get relaxed. Notice the chatter of your mind slowing. Use the powers of awareness to to know the mind rather than to control your mind. Think about signs of synchronicity showing up in your life. For example, patterns of numbers, letters, words, if they're repeating in your life. Unlikely but important encounters that are happening. The arrival of teachers, mentors, and friends. Just when you need them to appear, they come. The ease with which positive situations and circumstances full of opportunities arrive. Messages or knowledge coming just when it is needed. These are all guidance from above to help us on our path, and their support for you when these things happen. And it is quite wonderful, I believe, when you start seeing all of those. It's like a pat on the back. Oh, you're doing well. You're doing good. Keep it up. And we need that. We need to know that we're doing well and doing the right thing. And now I have a mantra for you. It's my mantra. And I've shared this with a few people, but this is my mantra. Spirit, universe, help me to find the wisdom, the knowledge, the energy, and the financial means to complete what I am called to do on my path, and to do this with honor and grace. So it is. It's time for our offering now. Everyone, and all of you online, you just send good energy. You can send a good energy, but I know there's a link to link up to, but the good energy is good too. Put your offering, whether it's your time, your talent, or financial, put it between your hands, put it next to your heart, and bless this out into the universe, out into our community, to everyone we know and love, and even those maybe we don't love, but we know that they have everything that they need in plenty, and that circles back around to us in 300% coming back. We want that, and I say amen for that. So thank you. Now I'm going to turn this over to Reverend Jen. She's going to thank you.
That was a beautiful message. And thank you for sharing your personal story. That was really, really beautiful. It got me. It was very, very touching.
It's me still. Thank you.
As the basket goes around, I just wanted to share a short story inspired by Sufi tradition, which views love as the soul's journey back to divine union. So long ago, in a quiet desert village, lived a weaver named Amin. He was known not for his skill with thread, but for the way he spoke of love, as if it were a living thing. One evening, under a sky heavy with stars, a traveler asked him, "What is the path of love?" Amin smiled and held up a single strand of golden silk. "This thread," he said, "is like the soul. It begins in the hand of the divine, spun from light itself. But to become a tapestry, it must pass through tension and knots and the pull of the loom." The traveler frowned. "So love is suffering?" "No," Amin replied. "Love is surrender. The thread does not resist the loom. It trusts the weaver. Each knot is a lesson. each stretch a longing. And when the soul stops struggling, it begins to shimmer. He paused, then added, "The path of love is not about finding the beloved. It is about remembering you were never separate." The travelers sat in silence, watching the stars blink like distant candles. So I thought that was really sweet. So I'd like to offer our closing prayer, if you join me, please. As we move into the rest of our day, stepping away from this sacred shared space, we carry with us the words and the grace that were shared with us today. Thank you, Spirit, for the hearts who came together, the wisdom that we share, the connections that have deepened, and the healing, even when quiet and subtle. May each of us leave this space feeling affirmed in the sacred path that we are on. Let the words shared today be seeds of transformation and healing. Let the love that we feel ripple out into our community and into our world. May we continue to approach each new day with courage, softer hearts, and that deep knowing that we are never alone. Bless our path ahead. Amen. And thank you to those that are joining us online from Our Heart to Yours. Be well.